wow, that was kind of fancy. Oh my goodness. All right. So welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Studio, where we talk about all things health related that happen outside of a studio or a gym or a store so that you can find some information, a little nugget that might have you feeling your best life inside your home or inside your business. And I am beyond honored every time I have a conversation with my guest. I will call a friend, a colleague, and an inspiration. And I'm just thrilled to have Robin Thomas, who I'm going to give a little background on you, Robin,
Okay,
okay?
thank
And
you.
then I'll let you kind of then take it over. But Robin literally is a community leader and making such an impact in our community. She is a lifestyle coach and she has spent 25 years, y'all, 25 years doing medical research at the University of North Carolina in inflammation in chronic autoimmune disease, which is powerful. We need that because we know the impact that that has on so many health related problems. And you started your business, Robin, right? I'm going to let you take it over then because from your story, you started in 2004, a powerful business. Welcome,
Well, yeah.
Robin.
Yes, thank you so much. And yes, we are absolutely great friends.
Yes.
I was just thrilled the day we met. It was just wonderful. We have
Right.
so much kind of in common. But my story is interesting. It's I was in the medical field. I'm not a physician. I was a research technician, is what I was. But I was surrounded by clinics and processes and really saw the face of autoimmune disease and chronic disease right up front because I was the go-to person to talk to them
Mhm.
and enroll them in studies. So I really saw that. At the same time, my son, I have two sons. They're now adults. It's hard to believe. They're in their 30s. But my younger son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes as an infant at 17 months, and that changed our life completely.
Mhm.
I thought I had it in hand. I'm knowledgeable. I know about diabetes. It's like we just do this, and it's all going to work out.
Mhm.
Well, it didn't. And he ended up with some brain injury from having real swings in blood sugars at that young of an age, things that
Mhm.
wouldn't affect an adult. But so when he was in school doing really pretty well, he's a smart guy, but he has other things going on. He has Hashimoto's also,
Mhm.
thyroid, low thyroid, and the diabetes. But he also had an anxiety. It all developed in an anxiety disorder and leaky gut because he was eating the American Diabetes Association diet, which is like, yeah, this is good. It was healthy for the rest of us, but for him, it ended up
Yeah.
not being great. So I did. I pulled him out when he entered middle school. It was too rough for him. And so I pulled in his learning style. So I pulled him out and I started homeschooling and juggling my time in the lab with homeschooling him, which sort of meant um, going in late or coming or going in extra early
Mhm.
and also working a lot of weekends. So
Mhm.
here it is. Would I see my family? Not much. And my husband was also working that hard too. A friend of mine said, why don't you really need to find something else? And I said, I know I needed to find something else. So I did start with a company called USANA Health Sciences. My science mind really liked seeing what they were doing. And then I was curious because it brought me into a whole community of more holistic health,
Mhm.
truly integrative health. So there is a science based, but there's a lot of science behind what we can have in with holistic health now. It's just amazing. The science is sort of, sometimes people say it's catching up to what people have been doing for centuries and centuries. Suddenly they're researching energy, the energy work and things, and they're seeing that, oh yeah, this is true. So yeah, so that's why um, that was my reasoning for going off on my own and having a wellness business of my own. I definitely was inspired by his journey, and also it opened up when he started getting better. I wanted to and open it up to all these practitioners I've met who
Mhm.
helped him and support them. So that started my Living Well Connections community.
Which is an amazing community, y'all. It's an amazing community of people, practitioners, just a wealth of information. You have done such an amazing job with that community and building it, the integrity of the community. So, if you haven't, any of you listening, have not checked out Living Well Connections on Facebook, it's a wonderful group, lots of support. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a private group because I want it to be a safe place.
Hmm.
And it's it started off with just practitioners, but it's opened to anyone interested in this topic.
Hmm.
Anyone who is interested in wellness, the greater wellness. And
Hmm.
that does mean mind, body, and soul. And I'm not the expert of everything. I'm only, nutrition is kind of my thing, but bringing in all these different experts makes it a very supportive and warm community.
Absolutely, it does. And I've been a member for now I can't recall how long. I know it
Maybe
predates COVID. So it was maybe 5 years
five
ago,
or
six
six years
years,
ago, I think.
5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And truly has been an amazing resource for all of us in this because not, there's no one expert, right? I mean, so I'm with you. I'm passionate about the work I do and the movement practices and the holistic approach to wellness, but it takes us as a community of experts to help each individual, from my perspective, find the resources that meet their needs because there's no cookie cutter approach, right?
Absolutely. It's, individuals resonate with different modalities.
Hmm.
Some help them. Some it's like, well, it's fine, but it doesn't help me. I honor that.
Hmm.
And then also, there are things I can do to help, but I know that often um, people need more than just one person so much of the time. They
Hmm.
need to get the views of other practitioners, other modalities, and it's exciting. It's fun. It's fun to learn about these, and it's fun to see what people are doing that's truly helping our whole
Yeah.
community. I mean, our worldwide community.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And so Usana, tell us a little bit more about because I'm a super fan and just proud to be working with you as I say a colleague. But Usana Science Health Sciences, is that
Yeah,
correct?
USANA Health Sciences. It was
Okay.
founded by Dr. Myron Wentz, and his story is pretty incredible because he was all in infectious diseases.
Mm-hmm.
He was working with viruses. He was a virologist, and he was keeping his human cell lines very healthy using a formula that he had researched of what human cells need for their
Mm-hmm.
nutrition. Well, that
Mm-hmm.
started a long time ago, like 40 years ago. But in the meantime, they've developed more and more, they've improved the products so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, well, a couple of things that excite me. Let's see. So many things that excite me in this. When I first looked at the company, I love the fact that he also founded a holistic medical institute, a truly integrative
Mm-hmm.
medical institute. And people can go to it for services and see. It's called
Oh.
Sonavive. And that's a big part. And the third thing he did was he opened up smaller holistic medical hospitals in third world countries.
Oh.
So especially for women and children.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he's done that over the years too, opening that.
Oh, wow.
But the research, which is sort of my baby, I love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the things we were doing in research, the lab, I wasn't doing it by myself. The lab was working on compounds, usually natural compounds, plant based compounds, that would help reduce that inflammation,
Mhm.
especially like keep it down, damp down, so people didn't go up into flares as much, and
Mhm.
keep it down. And that what that's doing is it's working with a body that forms something called cytokines. And so you might have heard of cytokine storms. That's when it's just your body's just going haywire, too much.
Mhm.
Cytokines help us with inflammation. They cause inflammation to help us heal, but it gets out of control when you're in autoimmune disease.
Mhm.
So this research was done at UNC. There was research at Duke. These are nearby universities to Lauren and I.
Mhm.
And it was also done across the country. But plant nutrients in certain specific ratios can support healthy pathways. So
Yeah.
USANA has incorporated it. We call it intelligence. It's just a funny name
Mhm.
because what it does is it's just these plant nutrients in small ratios, small details are when you ingest them, it turns it doesn't turn things on and off like a switch, but it increases. It helps speed up healthy pathways. And one of it does is you ever felt low energy, especially
Mhm.
as you get
Oh,
older?
totally,
Lower
absolutely.
energy, like, oh, low energy's low. Um, if anyone's heard of mitochondria,
Mhm.
mitochondria are the energy power source in our cells. It takes what we eat, which is almost always turned into glucose, sugar in one way, form, or another. It takes that and it turns it into pure energy called
Mhm.
ATP. But mitochondria age and they get inefficient. Well, these plant nutrients actually support taking apart the old inefficient mitochondria and putting together brand new mitochondria that are
Mhm.
efficient, don't
Mhm.
put off free radicals because that's
Mhm.
part of the process as much, and also give us energy. And then another thing, looking at inflammation, which is in so many illnesses,
Mhm.
um, the same nutrients actually help our cells form their own antioxidants inside the cell.
Mhm.
So if it's inside the cell, and often there are enzymes that work over and over and over again, fighting inflammation. It's fabulous. It's just, and I love it. It's plant nutrients. I mean, this is safe. This is safe stuff.
Fantastic, fantastic. And, with all of your years doing this and your research, and just I know the excitement around just helping others, what have you found, or what is the best way for a person to fight the noise? Because we have to admit, it's a very noisy environment out there, and we are losing a lot of trust because we don't know what's good for us and what's not. But with USANA, what would be the first approach to helping someone determine what is the best, supplemental avenue for them?
Oh, the best for them. Well, I know a lot of practitioners have something like a balanced wheel,
Mhm, mhm,
which tells and some have them that include all kinds of different lifestyle choices. Mine focuses on health and what I'm going to
mhm,
work with them on.
mhm,
I give it's called the Healthy Balance Wheel,
mhm,
and it has like it talks about digestion, things that are important, digestion, how we deal with stress. Do we have, what's our energy level? How is our sleep? A number of things like that. How do we move? And then through that, I have a little description of what would be like an optimal health in those. And
mhm,
people rate themselves and they see where they're imbalanced.
mhm,
I don't like to throw the kitchen sink, everything at someone ever.
mhm,
I think that we do best when we're changing is to change maybe two things, one or two, sometimes three, but just focus on
mhm,
what to work on at that time. Because when you raise that lowest level in the wheel,
mhm.
you raise your whole health. And that's a way that makes it sustainable. Turn it into a lifestyle. I work with people on developing habits, but I
Mhm,
like to work around with developing habits on what they really want to work on.
mhm. Yeah,
It's
because that's key, right? I mean, because if you have someone who's doing and let's just say an activity or a job
Yeah.
that is not, resonating one with their personality just or how they're arranged, eventually I always use the word suffer, but there will be suffering down the road if you're just taking the approach that you think is mainstream or what maybe the mass media tells you should take.
Or
So
the boot, or what I call the boot camp approach.
right, right,
Let's do
exactly.
everything.
Let's
You've
do
got
it
to do
all.
all these things. And people get
Exactly.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly. And as I was just talking with someone the other day, more business related, it's like when you have too many balls up in the air and you're doing too many things, you're not doing any of those things well.
Right.
And on that note, I am finding too in my practice, and I can only assume in yours and just how you're supporting with, all of your ways of helping clients
Mhm.
is, giving this enough time because I often see, everyone wants it to happen now. Like I want to wake up tomorrow feeling like a totally different person. And we know that's
Yeah, you do
not
one push-up, it doesn't mean that you're, or
no.
or one sit-up, it doesn't mean, "Okay, I'm done." Or I've to the piece of broccoli. I ate a piece of broccoli yesterday.
You're going, "Yay." Celebrate that.
Yeah,
Celebrate the little yeah,
yeah.
that win for eating the broccoli or for doing something that is making you feel better.
Mhm.
But we know that long-term sustainable health takes work. And
Yeah,
when I say work, not to be daunting, but you have to give it the time that it needs in order to connect with your system, like supplements. So, I'm assuming that there are, like, oh, I don't like the taste, or that maybe made me feel bad. Yes, look at why,
yeah.
but give it the time for your body to adjust, I think is key to helping a system just reorganize itself. Would you agree
Yeah,
or
that's so true. That's so
okay.
true. It takes time. It takes it, I mean, and on nutrition side of it, since that's sort of my little wheel, what the nutrition is doing is, as you're getting new, we always get new cells in our body.
Mhm,
It's empowering the new cells to be built better.
mhm,
An easy way to think of this is like omega 3s, fatty acids. Cells need that for a flexible membrane. And to have that flexible membrane, it's able to do the transport. It's able to, like, blood cells are able to be a little bit more flexible. I mean, the lining of the arteries are able to be a little bit more flexible, lowering blood pressure. Um, all kinds of ways it helps.
mhm,
And it's one of the reasons why we want to get omega 3s in our diet.
mhm.
When our vast ordinary diet has fallen to the wayside of lots of omega 6s. And omega 6s are good, but you'd want that balance.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
just one example. But yeah, I think something, it doesn't, they have this saying, it takes 21 days to develop a habit. Well, actually, it takes a whole lot longer than that to make
Mhm.
it such a habit that you don't have to think about it.
Exactly, I agree wholeheartedly. I usually say at a minimum 3 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes longer. It just really depends on each person's unique, circumstance that they are presenting and coming forward with, because if it's something that has been chronic for years and years, it is going to take some time to just recalibrate and adjust to this new way of living in whatever form, whether it's from a movement practice or whether it is from a
Mhm.
nutrition practice. Our brains are so complex, our human body is so complex but wonderful, but it has its way of wanting just to go on autopilot, and sometimes that autopilot comfort zone isn't always the healthiest place for us to stay. And yeah.
No, until you get that, you've lifted your lifestyle to, well, actually, this is the beautiful win about it. Because when you start feeling better, and with time, you will feel better. Whether you're working on your mindset, whether you're working on your movement, whether you're working on your nutrition, each one of those is going to make you feel better. And then you get to a point, because I've gotten to this point where if I don't do whatever it is, I miss
Mhm,
it. And it's like
mhm.
my body is telling me, "Oh my gosh, you've got to get back into the Pilates, or if you've got to get back into, what are you doing eating this way? You feel crappy. Sorry. And it's just, it may taste good at the moment, but when you realize how you're feeling, it's really nice when you get to that. Oh, your body's telling you that, yeah, get back to that one.
Get back to that one. I hear you. I've been telling just as of lately, I didn't realize how big of an impact COVID did have on me. I really didn't during the years of it in its, in the heart of it. I was still going. Like I had my
Yeah.
studio, as you know, I would go outside when most people were staying indoors. I just felt like we were still on the go. But what I didn't realize, Robin, is that when I was teaching, which we've known each other for a long time, you knew me in my studio teaching days.
Mhm.
In between clients, I was always moving. I was always learning more, educating. Not that I don't do that outside of the studio. It was truly when I left the studio environment that my whole life, which I didn't realize it
Yeah.
until just really kind of recently and just some discovery, is that that disruption kind of threw me off of my routine and the
Mhm.
things that I like to do, like movement. And even though I continue healthy practices, I completely I ignored my movement practice, and it caught up with me. And, I just like what you were saying is that once you get back into it, you go, "Oh gosh, why was I not doing
Right.
this?" I
Yeah, a
know.
similar thing happened to me, Lauren. I realized that, oh, not only was it affecting my own health, it was affecting my family's health and my family's mood too.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, we have to have that movement. We do. We do.
Yeah. Well, it is always a joy to spend time with you and just love your message and love, I've known you for a long time. And Robin is just such a strong community leader, all around indeed. So how is the best way, for others to get in touch with you? I see that you do have meetrobin.me.
I do have that. That is my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I love to chat with someone and find out what their needs are. So that's what that's going to be all about. And there's my website. It's my name, Robin at robinthomas.biz. And also there's a calendar link in the website too. I
Okay.
I do love either one is great, but I really want to talk to you. And it's not going to be a high pressure sales pitch. It's just going to be finding out what's going on in your life and we'll, I'll share that balance wheel
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just see together what you might want to pay attention to. And there's definitely a number of things on that wheel that I'm not selling anything. I'm just wanting to when we're aware, being aware is the first
Mm-hmm.
step of
Yeah.
what is going to help us best.
Exactly. That is so great. And what I'm going to do, Robin, as well, if you're good with this, let me see. I just had to create the banner now. Is it good to invite anyone to Living Well Connections? Again, it's a private group.
It's a private group for safety, and you can definitely reach out if you want to go to it's, if you search for Living Well Connections, it's actually, how it is, facebook.com groups, then Living Well Connection.
Okay.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll be reaching out to you. If you ask there's some questions. It's one of those where I really
Yeah.
want to know the people that are coming in. That's
Yeah.
what made this large group heart-centered and
Mm,
supportive. And you're not going to find people who are all they're doing is selling in
yeah.
this group.
You're really not. And that's why, we are in a sea of Facebook groups today, or all kinds of groups and communities that some, you just have to be careful. But just back to our point about, fighting the noise and
Yeah.
the uncertainty and the lack of trust because of, just some not so nice things going on out there in our world. Living Well Connections is a safe space, and it's definitely filled with a community filled with integrity. So, if you do have questions about your health and well-being that you are trying to seek some answers, Living Well Connections is definitely an amazing place to be because you will get the truth. You're not going to get just a bunch of people, as Robin said, selling their goods just to get your credit card. So I know that we are both heart centered people and practitioners that come forward with trying to support our community as well as our world so that we can have a healthier and happier globe. And I just am so always again honored and just I love talking with you. You're a dear friend, and I'm just grateful that you were a guest today.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. And planting the seeds toward wellness.
Yes, absolutely. I know that you guys have all not heard the last of our conversations, but many with Robin. So reach out to Robin. She has just years of knowledge and support that can help you get on your path to your nutritional support. And just book a call with her.
Yes. I can't wait to talk to you.
I know. So great to have you. And we'll just talk to all of you on the next episode of The Other Side of the Studio, where you can find all your wellness ways inside your own home, and it will impact your personal life and your professional life in a very positive way. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.